for some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling, my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone. It is the 9th of December, and you know what that means. We start off with our, first annual Advent of Absurdity, Headlines of Absurdity Advent Calendar. And boy, do I have a story for you guys this morning. As with mainly everything these past couple weeks, all of the stories could be, what in the Walmart rapture or final form Jesus. I mean, at this point, if I come across a regular headline of just like something normal, I'm shocked anymore. But let's get into this Advent, headline of absurdity, because you guys, this one's a doozy.
2025 is nearly done, so grab your cocoa, here's the fun. Every day's a brand new spray of what the hell absurdity. From runaway, emos on the loose, to news you swear was fake but true. Mo's got the snark, you bring the tea. It's the WFT Advent Countdown with Mosh.
You guys, I mean, normally I can say probably not today, Satan, but at this point, it seems like the most logical answer. A mysterious demon monolith, adorned with screaming faces and twisted bodies, has appeared in the California desert. Again, I mean, this looks kind of normal for what I assume California is, but... A mysterious demon monolith has appeared in the California desert, adorned with screaming faces, twisted bodies, serpents, and a giant eye carved into its center. It stands more than 9 feet tall, and the black statue was spotted by several visitors at the Joshua Tree National Park over the past few days. Now, witnesses claim it groans every few minutes and glows at night, and it's covered with hundreds of sculpted human corpses. Now, word of the strange structure exploded online after a TikTok video went viral, with the creator insisting it's not a hoax, it's not AI, it's real, and it wasn't there yesterday. Drivers along Highway 62 also report seeing smoke drifting off the monolith as they drove. I mean, someone took a lot of time on this, and I guess it's good to have a hobby. They're probably laughing their ever-living tits off. Let's be real. This is probably someone that does way too much edible, devil's lettuce, and thought it would be fun to trick the normies. I mean, that's kind of what I'm reading it. If it does turn out to be, a sacrificial, area to Baal or, Morgoth or something, I will stand here and firmly say I got it totally wrong. But at this point, someone's just trying to get their Etsy store to go viral. Now, this eerie discovery has sparked waves of fear and conspiracy, with some speculating it could be part of a ritual site or a warning of an ominous event to come. But soon, an entirely different theory emerged. Canadian video game journalist Jeff Knightley posted about the monolith on X, igniting speculation that the statue could actually be tied to an upcoming game reveal. Again, I will always pick capitalism over conspiracy. And I wish I could. Y'all, okay, I was going to wait to show this on the Petty Express, but you guys, holy crap, Spackle. It has arrived. Yes, I did get a Carmen Sandiego costume. And now, when I say, where in the Carmen Sandiego is this case going, I can put my hat on. Okay, anywho, I shouldn't be this excited about a Carmen Sandiego outfit. But, it's just the one of the many things that Mr. Mo is confused about me, but, says he loves. And it's good. It's a good thing, because I have a Carmen effing Sandiego outfit, and I will be going to Walmart in it one day when I use it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably more linked to a possible video game or anyone. I mean, these are actually really good sculptures, or it's better than I can do. I mean, current reference sample, Hank Brennan puppet. So I'm guessing that it will be okay. And this is probably not, the start of a temple to Morgoth or any other thing. It's just one of those random things that happens in California. I wouldn't lose sleep over it, but there you go. Well, in international news, and you guys on the West Coast, do be careful. I know it's really early on the West Coast, so not a lot of West Coasters might be watching, but do keep your eyes open if you are on the West Coast on the replay crew. Japan has had a mega quake warning issued after a 7.5 magnitude tremor sparked a tsunami. Now, again, I'm not a geologist or a doctorologist, so, you listen to the people that have ologist on the back of their name. I'm more of a Hot Mess Express guru, if you will, if you squint really hard on the guru part. Well, Japanese authorities have issued a mega quake warning after a powerful 7.5 magnitude tremor struck off the northern side of Japan on Monday. The toll of injured people is up to 23, and it did trigger a tsunami in Pacific Coast communities. Japanese government is still assessing damages from the tsunami and late evening quake, which struck around 11:15 p.m. in the Pacific Ocean, around 50 miles off the coast of Aomori, the northernmost prefecture of Japan's main Honshu island. I've never experienced such big shaking, said a convenience store owner. And a tsunami of about 2 feet 4 inches was measured in a port near that prefecture. Again, I barely remember geography in, America, so I have no idea where all these prefectures are. But, it is something to be mindful of. Again, not like run in fear and never leave your bunker, but something to pay attention to, because these things do tend to cluster. And if they're warning of a bigger quake coming soon or coming after this, it might be something to be paying attention to. And honest to goodness, this is one of the only headlines that doesn't have red rum in it today. Y'all, we have some dumpster fire people to bring to you today. Now, in a headline that looks like it's going to be a big case, or at least a big investigation, and it is in Arkansas. An Arkansas mother and her 6-year-old twins lost their lives in their mansion amid a bitter divorce battle with her doctor husband, is what's being released by authorities. Now, the bodies of the mother, Charity Bielis, 40, and the couple's young daughter and son were found inside their $760,000 home in Bonanza near Oklahoma during a December 3rd welfare check. Now, her estranged husband, Dr. Randall Bielis, had previously been arrested for DV when he gave a, not so erotic neck hug of non-consent at their home. Now, he did plead guilty to that charge and received a 1-year suspended sentence and was ordered to pay more than $1,500 in court fees. Now, Charity then filed for divorce with her husband that same month and was seeking full custody of their children. Now, she and the children were found, obviously, after a divorce hearing at the Sebastian County Courthouse. Dr. Bielis had been awarded joint custody of the children in the hearing, which was the final proceeding in the parents' divorce. Now, in August, Charity had opened up about what she described as her quote-unquote battle in a comment under a news story. "I'm living this battle now. I'm the victim, and yet I'm being treated like the problem, while the criminal, a local doctor, is being shielded by the very system that's supposed to protect us," she wrote. "I've tried to reach out to prosecuting attorney Daniel Shue, but he won't accept a letter from me. My voice as the victim has been shut out. This is not just about me. This is about a system that protects offenders and rejects victims. Our lives are at stake, including the lives of young children." Now, Pierce said in a statement that Mr. Bielis has been cooperative with law enforcement and fully supports the Sebastian County Sheriff's Office investigation. "We hope the Sheriff's Office finds the truth about what happened to Miss Charity Bielis and their children." Now, I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but I think I have a couple ideas who done did it. I mean, this is not, the lights went out in Georgia. This is, possibly like Shim right there, that guy. Let's maybe look into him just a scotch. In really good news, and I did not want to cover this story, you guys, I have had my fill of heartbreaking children being taken by parents and the roller coaster of hoping against hope and against reality that these people who call themselves parents didn't do something absolutely heinous to these children. And we finally have a story where one of these kiddos comes back alive, if not undamaged, because of course not. I mean, to be taken away from safety, normality by a parent you trust, and all of that. But thank God we finally got a good story, because I swear to you guys, the reason I added the cringe clips and all of that and kind of stopped with the Lord Chippy is it gets heartbreaking having to, the hope and, all of these stories and just how dumpster fiery people can be. So I am glad to bring you guys this story. A missing boy who is 5 years old has been found safe after his father said he was taking him away to prevent a surgery, and the father is behind bars. Now, a 5-year-old Utah boy who was reported missing and believed to be with his non-custodial father has been found safe, and that father is now facing criminal charges. On Saturday, December 6th, in Bountiful City, the police department announced the safe return of 5-year-old James Despain, who had been suspected to be in danger after his non-custodial father, Benjamin, failed to return him after a scheduled visitation. Now, the boy's mother, Natalie, said she went to pick up her son 3 hours after Benjamin had taken him for a visitation on Tuesday, December the 2nd, but the pair were not at the home. Natalie does have sole physical and legal custody of their son and claimed that Benjamin had sent her an email saying he had taken James, quote-unquote, away, so he wouldn't have the adenoid removal surgery that had been scheduled for December 4th. Now, she told KLS, a local news station, that Benjamin doesn't like anything medical and believed that his son's surgery was not needed. Now, according to police, a protective order and an endangered missing advisory were issued before the boy was reunited with his mother on Saturday. Police said investigators were working tirelessly and following every lead working closely with family members to ensure that this little boy got home safely. Now, Benjamin was taken into custody and custodial interference charges are pending. My guess is they're going to be increased, especially if he crossed state lines. This could end up being both a state and federal case, depending on, statutes and how they choose to work on it. So I am glad that this little boy got home before Christmas, and I'm glad I can bring you guys a good story for once. Now, this douche, again, he's not unattractive. Ladies, I get it, but really, you want it? I do not get the appeal. I really, really just no idea. But Luigi Mangione continues to, well, ham it up in court, while maybe some damning information is coming out, about him. Luigi Mangione appeared to be making a fist and kind of, revving up for his crowd in a Manhattan courtroom on Monday, December the 8th, then looked down as body cam footage showed officers finding a loaded magazine wrapped in a pair of wet underwear in his backpack. Yeah, it's kind of hard to look like, a SMEX symbol when your disgusting drawers are being, displayed on a body cam. Now, Mangione, 27, was back in court for the fourth day of a marathon evidence suppression hearing that started, so basically, and this is all part of the due process, there are certain statutes that go and allow officers to look into your items, but there do have to be certain conditions that are involved. I have not been keeping up with this case. It is about all I can do to keep up with the Brian Walsh case and Mornings with Mo. So I am not aware of all the ins and outs. I do think Andrea Burkhart and, Joe from Legal Joe, I think. I've forgotten everyone's name. As y'all know, I'm terrible with names. My mind is blinking out, but I do know some people are covering this. I'm just not one. So, I will say that there have been certain arguments made on both sides as to whether or not certain conditions were met so that those searches on his personal effects were considered, not fruit of the poison tree, but actually legitimate. So I know that there's a lot of back and forth. But y'all, believe me, that's the face I get when you ask me a math question or directions. I'm like, good logic. There we go. I was like, his name is Joe. His wife drives him. Honestly, I am the worst person. Well, in the other Pokemon cards of humanity no one wants to pick up, Final Form douchebag. Well, Brian Koberger seems like he might be trying to cozy up to fellow notorious douche canoes whilst behind bars. Oh, it seems like a matchmaking in hell, but I'd watch those dating videos, not gonna lie. I mean, not past like first base, not gonna lie, more like the awkward getting to know you. My imagination is already too active, okay? Which reminds me, as a personal addendum and self-defense, if autoerotic asphyxiation is brought up in the Brian Walsh case again today, I am day drinking for my self-defense. I have too active an imagination to deal with this crap, okay? Not one more again will I do this sober. Y'all, I can't with this defense. Well, Brian Koberger is attempting to, well, maybe phone a friend or find a friend among notorious serial killers nationwide as he serves multiple life sentences for his crimes, a new report has claimed. Now, the quadruple murderer who turned 31 behind bars last month has been reaching out to other high-profile inmates from inside his cell at the maximum security institution in Kuna, according to Chris McDonald, a retired homicide detective with the Cold Case Foundation. He's tried reaching out to other serial unalivers, but I don't know whether any relationships have formed. Both inside and outside, he's trying to communicate with people outside the walls. Now, the veteran investigator added that Koberger sees himself as above everyone around him. The former Washington University graduate student's latest stunt follows his wild, bitching sessions where he complains about the bananas he's getting behind bars. You guys, screw this man. Brian, you are so incredibly lucky I'm not in charge of anything for your prison stay, because you would get those runts bananas. I would feed you nothing but stuff that would make you gain weight, because I know that bothers you. I mean, you would end up looking like Cartman at the end of the World of Warcraft. I would be nothing but like, carb loading you. No, sir. I would you are lucky you are in a system that allows you to complain about bananas, because in Moe's world, you would be on your way to Mars, okay?
They're not the kind of bananas he likes.
The investigator told, yeah, just absolutely crazy. I really don't care if he can't phone a friend or find a friend. Don't really care if he has a pen pal. Kind of hope he doesn't. Well, the universe is healing, and we might be moving slightly away from hodacity, or at least they are in Bali. Bonnie Blue does remain in custody after being arrested in Bali following a risque stunt. Well, I've seen Broke Down Palace, and I choose not to do anything illegal in countries that have a really, really, punitive legal, system. But I say if they want to take Bonnie Blue, we give her to them and a lifetime supply of Purell and penicillin. Bonnie Blue and 14 men have been arrested following a police raid in Bali, Indonesia. Now, according to multiple media reports, I'm just going to throw this out there for those that don't understand. Indonesia might be one of that, 3 Abrahamic religions that doesn't take too kindly to women expressing sexual autonomy. So it might not be the place to, indulge in hodacity. I don't know. It's almost like there's a coincidence and a correlation between, being an Islamic theocracy and not liking hodacity. It's almost like there's a link. Almost like you could have done research on a Google and noticed this, like Brian Walsh. Well, according to multiple media reports, on Friday, December 5th, the British professional hoe, 26 years old, was arrested alongside men for allegedly making X-rated material. Now, Indonesia has strict laws governing morality. Yes, again, possibly don't go to a theocracy and try to do degen stuff. It's almost like you might get in trouble for things that liberal, democracies allow you to do. It's almost like it's almost like you could have done the little scotch research. Well, Australian outlets 9 News and news.com.au reported that Blue, whose real name is Tina Emma Billinger, is still in custody in Qatar. Now, the majority of the arrested men aged between 17 and 40 have been released, and one Australian man and two British men do remain in custody. Now, the police chief told the outlet that the raid had come after the public reported the alleged creation of pornographic videos. Now, police and immigration department officers then reportedly raided a vacation rental. Now, according to the outlet, the property is suspected of being used to create content of immoral elements or pornographic natures. Now, Blue was in Bali during Schoolies, an event for recently graduated Australian high school students who celebrate the end of exams and finishing year 12. Now, she was reportedly taking her SMEX bus on a tour in the Indonesian island with an aim of banging as many of these recently graduated students as possible. What the hell could go wrong? Giblets in heaven. Yeah. Indonesia, we kindly gift you in this holiday season Bonnie Blue and a lifetime supply of Purell and penicillin. God bless and thank you so much. Allegedly in Minecraft. She seems like a smart girl. I'm sure she'll figure something out. Well, in a sad but what the hell happened and how did this happen headline, a Royal Caribbean cruise passenger was served a total of 33 drinks before he died in custody, says a lawsuit. Now, I have so many questions about this one. The death of a Royal Caribbean passenger has been ruled a homicide after crew members allegedly served him nearly 36 drinks at the ship's bar before he passed away, according to a new lawsuit. Now, Michael Virgil, 35, was served 33 drinks at one of the ship's bar on the day he passed away in custody in December 2024, according to a wrongful death lawsuit that has been filed by his fiancée. Now, Virgil was detained during a drunken rage in which he allegedly attacked and threatened to take the life of crew members and passengers. But he passed away within hours after being restrained and taken into custody by the cruise ship security, according to a lawsuit, with Virgil's family initially alleging that they injected him with a sedative, which went on to take his life. Now, a year later, the family is standing by that claim in their new lawsuit and said that Virgil's cause of death was changed to homicide, according to legal papers. Now, Virgil had boarded the Mexico-bound cruise with his fiancée and 7-year-old autistic son when they were told that their room hadn't been ready that day. Crew members had directed them to the bar where they remained for a period of time. But their son grew restless and Virgil's fiancée took him to check in on their progress of their room while he remained at the bar. Now, it's allegedly during that time that he was served the booze and he broke into a rage that then left the bar extremely inebriated and couldn't find his room. Footage from the cruise does show Virgil attempting to batter down a door after he had allegedly attacked crew members and threatened to take the lives of other passengers. Now, when he was eventually detained, his fiancée alleged that the excessive force and fatal actions taken by crew members, including security and medical personnel, who had administered an injection of a sedative medication, basically Halidol, and used multiple cans of pepper spray, led to his death. Now, Virgil died of significant hypoxia, impaired ventilation, respiratory failure, cardiovascular instability, and ultimately cardiopulmonary arrest, leading to his death, which has been ruled homicide. So I will say that if you are going to use a sedative medication, you better have all of the, equipment to keep vitals on a good record so you can actually pay attention to vitals. You better have all the equipment to do life-saving resuscitation should it become necessary. So it will be interesting as this case goes along to see if the cruise does have those facilities, and if they don't, why they are able to carry such a dangerous medication without having, certain safety protocols in place. Also, who the hell serves someone 33 drinks? I thought as a bartender, part of your liquor license is that you can be held liable if you overserve. So it does really make me question a couple things. So I do wonder what is going on. Now, y'all, this first story is going to be, if any one of you guys had Highlight magazines, we have a Goofus and a Gallant. Now, the Goofus is going straight to Snake Island, so don't you worry. We figured out what we're doing with this jackass. But the other one is an absolute hero. So buckle in for at least the Snake Island portion of this. That's the other thing. I drink like half a drink and I'm like, tee hee hee hee. So I can imagine 33. So let me get this going so we can take this person directly to Snake Island.
First, we got a room for the wicked, the cruel, and the worst. If you lie, if you cheat, if your soul's made of bile, you're bound for the fangs and the venom style. Oh, one-way ticket to Snake Island. Oh, where the contents, less cowards and gaslighters go. No anchor, no lifeboat, no tearful goodbyes. Just hissing and coming in cold-blooded skies. Backstab your friend.
Now, y'all, Publicly Buzzed, another creator, has really been putting this story out, and I wanted to wait for a little more information to be put out. But this is an absolute grotesque case, and we will be watching and absolutely destroying this man when he goes, if he goes to trial. A father of 3 panicked and left his children inside a burning apartment to try to get help. He was the only survivor of the fire. You guys, the mother has been left behind, heartbroken. There is a GoFundMe up. This is a horrific case. Wisconsin father Joshua Cannon told police that he panicked after realizing his home was on fire, leaving his 3 children inside while he ran to get help, according to a search warrant. Now, he ended up being the sole survivor, and now their mom is asking why he left their children behind in the burning house. Jordan Feasby tells police she spent Thanksgiving morning with her 3 children, Riley 10 years old, Connor 9 years old, and Elena 7 years old, before she dropped them off at their dad's 2-story apartment. Just hours later, she learned that her boys had perished in the fire and that her daughter had been hospitalized. Now in the hospital with her daughter, who later unfortunately passed, Fisby said she asked the father, "Why didn't you grab the kids first?" Things weren't adding up, she claimed. Now, the father told police that around 9 p.m. on November 27th, Riley and Connor went to sleep in their room, which was on the 2nd floor, and the father himself went to bed about an hour later, at which time his daughter was still wide awake inside the room. Now, according to a search warrant obtained by People, the father then said he woke up a short time later. Officials responded to the fire at just before 11 p.m., stating that his eyes felt cloudy, and when he went downstairs, he saw a little fire on the kitchen floor. Now, Joshua stated he then panicked and walked out the front door. As you do. Did you take the Brian Walsh self-defense from reality course? Giblets, this man is grotesque. He said he was banging on his neighbor's door screaming for help and yelled at his kids to come downstairs, according to the warrant. "I opened the door to his residence. I heard my kids. I tried to go back in, but the smoke came at me and I couldn't see. I barely got 2 steps in and had to turn back around." He was quoted telling the police, "When I opened the door, it made it even worse." He also stated that prior to going to bed, he did have a cigarette in the kitchen by the sink, but he thought that he had, put it out completely before going to bed. Now, when first responders arrived, they found 2 children who were believed to be passed away, later identified as the brothers, both Riley and Connor, and another child who had severe burns. Now, the area they were found was near the kitchen dining room area of the apartment, so it does seem like the kids were trying to get out. This absolute... Ugh. Now, Elena, described in a report as either being found on the second floor bedroom or near a stairwell, was taken to a hospital, but unfortunately they couldn't do anything else. Now, the father was taken to a hospital where he was treated for smoke inhalation. Now, in response to the release of the search warrant, the Kenosha Police Department issued a clarification regarding the status of their ongoing investigation. Now, the warrant stated that investigators were examining a possibility of arson and potential homicide. Under Wisconsin law, law enforcement must outline potential criminal charges when they apply for a search warrant. So this is very normal. Basically, for a search warrant, you tell the judge, we are looking for X, Y, and Z. We believe this happened. This is the evidence we currently have. This is what we believe if our theory is correct. We will find if we go in there, we are looking for evidence of this, this, and this. And then the judge looks at it and says, okay or not okay. This is kind of normal. Now, it basically, and all of these are public documents. This is fairly normal. It is interesting to see how people report on things when they're maybe not as used to court stuff. So it is interesting to see it from the perspective of someone who maybe doesn't do court a lot. So this might seem like this is something new in a lot of things, but it's actually very standard. So as the investigation progresses, in conjunction with the Kenosha Fire Department, we will continue to methodically rule out all possible causes of this fire, KPD spokesperson Lieutenant Joshua Hecker told, media. This is a complex and evolving case, and we remain committed through impartial and evidence-driven investigation. Now, on Friday, services were held for the three siblings, and the mother spoke out about her children at the services. Now, the father did attend, but did not speak to any mourners. And there has been a GoFundMe set up to pay for funeral costs. Now, that is our bad story for today, because we have this absolute hero, this man who can say he was an actual father and a hero. A 67-year-old father jumped out of a second-story building, to save 4 of his family members who were trapped inside. My hat's off to you. A father jumped from a second-story window to save his family from their burning California home, and now he's being praised for his brave act as they recover from losing everything. To me, it's the family. We're alive, and that's it, said Antelo Gomez to local news in an interview with his loved ones following a devastating fire at their home in Santa Ana on December the 5th. The other thing, it's just material. Now, investigators told the outlet that the fire may have begun on the first floor around 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Captain Sean Doran of the Orange County Fire Authority told local news that a woman first smelled smoke and notified her husband, who tried to open their door but couldn't exit because of the intensity of smoke and heat. Now, the 67-year-old man, later identified as Gomez, then jumped from their bedroom window to the patio cover just below before leaping a further 9 feet to the ground. He grabbed a ladder to help his wife escape before he helped his 11-year-old son reach safety from his bedroom on the second floor. You can hear Dad on top of the ladder pounding on the window, trying to get the attention of his 11-year-old, who was still fast asleep. He said, "Open the window, we're going to have to jump. We are going to get you out of here." But it was a calm and urgent, kind of thing. Now, officials told the outlet that as soon as the child was safe, Gomez used his ladder to rescue his adult son and an elderly woman before the blaze overtook the second story. First responders were alerted about the building fire at 1:35 a.m., and by the time they had arrived, all 5 occupants had safely escaped, along with the family's chihuahua, Luca. 5 people are alive today thanks to the heroic actions of a 67-year-old man at his home on South Linda Way. The police department said as they were sharing this. Now, the cause of the fire is under investigation, but Gomez's proud daughter told local news that he's always kept them safe. He's just a solid guy, you know. Growing up, I never saw him panic. I never saw him stress out. When things would go wrong, there was always this positive attitude. One daughter told the outlet, as a child, I never felt uncertain or scared because of him. Though they are grateful that everyone survived, the family is now without a home. And one of the children has set up a GoFundMe. But I love this story. I love that this father knew exactly what to do. This man is just absolutely deserves all the recognition. Again, I don't know how as a parent you get yourself out safely, because you couldn't get me to leave a house. I mean, they would find me right next to the door pushing my children out. I cannot make the first story make sense, but I am willing to keep an open mind and wait for the defense to have some kind of a story. But an open mind does not mean the ability to throw away all logic and buy a stupid story. Now, and another one for effing jackass Snake Island. Again, y'all, what in the name of all that is unholy? I mean, at this point, does Satan even need demons? I mean, we've got people here on earth like this chick. An Arkansas mother allegedly orchestrated the kidnapping of her mentally disabled daughter as a scare tactic. Now listen, this is something to teach her a lesson, to be a good mom, to keep her from speaking to strangers. So basically, someone was posing as Luke Bryan online, and her daughter, being maybe just a little bit more naive, was thinking she was actually talking to, Luke Bryan. Now, instead of talking to her daughter and saying, sweetheart, I know it's flattering to think that Luke Bryan is actually talking to you if you're attracted to Beavis or Butthead. But, this probably isn't him, be safe online. No, how about, again, did she go to the Brian Walsh School of Appropriate Reactions of Craziness? Like, my daughter was doing something wrong, so I decided to set up a kidnapping. I mean, if you ask Brian Walsh's defense attorney, it might be a completely reasonable reaction. Well, Tammy Hamby, who formerly served on the Crawford County Library Board, has turned herself in on this past Wednesday after allegedly enlisting 3 people to help kidnap her 22-year-old daughter. As you do. On November 17th, deputies responded to a possible kidnapping of her daughter, who does have intellectual and physical disabilities, according to an arrest warrant. Now, Hamby allegedly pioneered the scheme to teach her daughter a lesson about not talking to strangers on the internet, including someone reportedly pretending to be Luke Bryan. Now, an in-home nursing student assistant, Shannon Yasmin Yvonne Childers, who helps care for the daughter, was informed by Hamby of the staged kidnapping. Always admit to your crimes pre-crime. Now, Hamby allegedly planned to have someone who pretended to be an associate of Luke Bryan contact her daughter and arrange a meetup. After that, the person would then pick up her daughter, take her to a field, and demand money before tying her to a tree. As you do. Now, the mom was then supposedly, going to show up and rescue the daughter. Do what now? Now, Childers allegedly then recruited 2 other individuals, David Q. Quach and Nico Austria, to then assist with the plan. Now, the 2 showed up in Hamby's home with ski masks and snatched her disabled daughter. Then one of the idiots took a wrong turn and ended up in a different field than was planned and zip-tied Hamby's daughter to a tree. Now, Hamby's frightened daughter eventually was able to break free and run away, or tried to run away, but was tackled by both ridiculous idiots. Then they retied her to the tree. Now, Hamby had been watching the entire time, as you do as a good mom. Sarcasm is obvious. Now, her daughter then escaped on her own and was able to call 911. Hamby's daughter was in fear for her life and clung tightly to a teddy bear the entire, time of her interview, the Crawford County Sheriff's Office deputy said in a narrative. Now, Hamby did resign her position on the library board on November 24th after stating she was moving out of the district. Hamby's husband, Jeffrey Hamby, has since told the outlet that his wife was trying to do the right thing. Do what now? No, why are you defending your wife? No, this is psychotic. This is nuts. This is not even giblets in pancakes. So there you go. This is not good parenting. Don't try this. This is a crime. Don't kidnap people to teach them lessons. I didn't think I'd have to say that, but apparently that is a sentence that now has to be said. Well, if you have mugshot does confirm this face, felony peeping, can confirm. Allegedly in Minecraft until adjudicatedly in the court of law. A Jeopardy champion from North Carolina has been arrested on 2 charges of felony secret peeping. Again, can confirm with this face, can confirm. I mean, look, profiling is a thing because, yikes. Philip Joseph Joey DeSena, 42, who won the show twice in December 2024, walking away with $44,698, returned in January for the Champions wildcard tournament, where he didn't move past the semifinals. The development engineer from Raleigh was arrested December the 1st, according to the Kirkuk County Sheriff's Office in Maple, North Carolina. Now, according to the warrant, authorities accuse him of unlawfully and willfully and feloniously secretly installing in a room a device that can be used to create pornographic images, namely cameras placed in bathrooms with the intent to capture images of another without their consent. Yes, again, mugshot can confirm. Now, court records show that he did post bond, so he is free and out. But yeah, no. Well, if anyone had great wars and swarms of bees, that is what Nostradamus is calling for in 2026. So I don't know if we should all buy extra cans of Raid or if we should alternate between hornets and wasp spray, just in case Nostradamus was a little off on his, pestilence or what plague we're going to get. Well, a 16th century astrologer predicted political upheaval and renewed conflict between East and West in 2026. You mean like what's been going on since forever? Well spotted, sir. But it's not all doom and gloom. There may be something positive to look forward to in the new year. Chocolate that makes you skinny? Diet gummies? Any medication without terrible side effects? Now, while his predictions are often vague and devotees have interpreted the French philosopher's quatrains as prophecies of atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and more recently the spread of COVID, well, his next set of divinations do not mention any calendar year specifically, but followers of the mysterious prophet believe that the 26 quatrains of his text relate to 2026. A great swarm of bees will arise by night, the ambush. Well, I mean, I have been promised since my early childhood killer bees, and we are getting killer bees. No idea. I mean, honestly, it was fun to look at Nostradamus stuff when I was in middle school, but everything is so vague and everything can be interpreted so wildly that, it's a fun thing to look at. I don't personally take any of it seriously, but it's a fun sort of like dental floss, or not dental, candy floss for my brain. It's like junk food for my brain. I like it. Look, I wish I believed wholeheartedly that there was a cabal of super smart Illuminati taking, care to orchestrate everyone around us. But given the current state of events, I would just hope they're fully functional, because at this point it seems like the cabal that's trying to lead things from the shadow is a product of, well, let's just say thousands of years of consanguineous marriage. But I won't be touching that anymore because that's a little bit of a hot topic. But I'm just saying. Now we come to the stories that'll make you go, well, that's an interesting kind of situation we got there. But we need them, so we ask for him. Final form Jesus, come protect us from these headlines.
The key keep its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Well, don't try to let people grope you through cardboard. Apparently, it is illegal in South Korea. Again, a sentence I never thought I would actually say. A South Korean model who became known as the Angel Box Girl for walking around in a cardboard box and letting strangers grope her is actually being prosecuted for obscene exposure. Now, a few months ago, Anin, a self-proclaimed attention-seeking South Korean model, went viral for the risque stunt that made international headlines. So videos of the young woman wearing only a cardboard box with 4 holes for her arms and leg, and 2 more for groping, went viral, making her one of the most popular topics on social media. She paraded herself on the streets of Hongdae, a nightlife district of Seoul, asking random people to put their hands through the holes of the angel box and grope her, in public, as you do. Life is more important than this. I know you don't think so right now at 21, but there's going to come a day where you're going to be a slight bit embarrassed that you let a bunch of randos touch your boobage and hoochie-magooch on the street, in a cardboard box. I mean, maybe not today, maybe you feel empowered, but at some point you're going to look back and go, what was I thinking? And I am one of the lucky last generations that grew up in a time before cell phones that had cameras. So y'all are screwed. Okay. The good thing about Gen Z and, Gen-lennials, as I call myself, cuspers, is that our phones were just phones. We did a lot of ridiculous stuff, but there is rarely evidence beyond Polaroid pictures. So, it kind of sucks to be you right now. Well, as word of the Angel Box Girl spread through the street, she ended up attracting large groups of men. Who'da thunk it? Having got a taste of fame, she repeated her routine in October in another posh neighborhood. And basically, a bunch of people got a little upset because this is considered way too inappropriate. I mean, now I will confess that I do like K-dramas. Look, they are the most cheesy, ridiculous thing. But if you notice in K and C dramas, the modesty is very integral. You'll notice that they will wear flashy things, but mostly for the most part, things are covered up. And, cheating of spouses is considered very bad. When they have like these smexy scenes, It's like the 1984 through Gossamer, things, and like a lot of innuendo shots, like the train go. So this is not a culture that would react like America, where this might be, a bit more accepted or not even news. This is definitely something that was designed to get attention, but probably not a felony. So again, if you go to South Korea, do not let people grope you through cardboard boxes. Well, apparently the new Pantone color of the year is all the istophobic. If you like this color, you are in fact a terrible person who aligned with all the bad things in history, don't you know? Women are melting down over Pantone revealing its annual color of the year is a shade of white, with some raging to the void that the choice is tone deaf and proof of all the istophobia that America has under, current administration or current year, or I don't know, Mercury being in retrograde. Now, the company announced last week that its color choice for 2026 was Cloud Dancer, a bland off-white shade that Pantone has insisted is the symbol of a calm, in a hectic society. But apparently scores of people were offended and took to social media to accuse the company of the istophobia. Bringing up specters such as Sydney Sweeney and the terrible American Eagles jeans campaign. Now, I have never cared less about anything than I do about this white color. I will be honest with you. I hate this color too because I hate grayish with a passion. I like bright jewel tone colors and I don't care who knows it. That being said, I'm not going to get on TikTok and rage against the beige, mostly because I don't care that much. If you care this much about a paint color, I'm going to need you to come here. I have got chores to do. Look, you obviously care more and you have more give a F than I do. So I have baseboards to dust. I have laundry to fold. And if you, at any time need purpose in your life, I have more chores to give you. If you feel terrible about something to the point that you need to, absolve yourself on TikTok, please come to my house for your penance. I have chores. For the love of all that is unholy, please stop this. Well, actually, I would pay to see this, not gonna lie. Put it on pay-per-view and I'd actually buy it. Justin Bieber has threatened to put an Apple employee in a rear naked chokehold over a popular, iPhone misfunction. Well, Justin Bieber has a bone to pick with Apple. On Thursday, Bieber took to Instagram to air his grievances about a popular iPhone function that seems to be interrupting his daily routine of, I'm guessing, staring blankly into space. I don't know. If I hit this dictation button after sending a text, it beeps and stops my music one more time. I'm going to find everyone at Apple and put them in a rear naked chokehold. So it's not Justin's problem that he has fat fingers or tweaky fingers, allegedly in Minecraft, until adjudicatedly in the court of law, allegedly again. That being said, sir, it's called possible user error. Now, granted, I don't have an ego when it comes to technical stuff, but being the kind human being that I am, or at least pretending to play one on, the public, when I go in and my doodads are misfunctioning, I always tell the IT goatee genius that's looking at me, I'm like, look, this is 99.9% probably user error and I am fat fingering this somewhere, but I cannot get this thing to work and it is costing my sanity. So, no shame, no ego. If it is something that I am doing, just tell me that because I can't figure it out. Now, I guess I just assume that everyone else has this sort of understanding and kind of lack of ego and, can basically admit that they might be doing something wrong. But no, apparently Justin Bieber is going to do checks or tech support by Greco-Roman wrestling. Now, sweetheart, you are all of I'm gonna generously say 140 pounds. I don't know how you're going to do in Celebrity Deathmatch, but I am willing to watch the IT Goatee versus Justin Bieber throwdown match, WWE style. So there you go. Now, I thought this was hilarious because this bear crashed a Christmas parade and okay, we're getting a bit of a tangent story today. This bear story reminds me of how my boys kind of sing happy birthday. So my boys have kind of changed the words to happy birthday to, I was told there'd be cake. I was told there'd be cake. Let's finish the song and eat us some cake. So when I saw this thing about the bear, I was like, the bear was thinking, I was told there'd be deer. I was told there'd be deer. Don't care if they're reindeer or regular. Let's eat some deer. So, look, sometimes I pull headlines because they make me laugh. Well, it seemed that the bear was unfazed that he crashed a Christmas parade en route in Tennessee, becoming the star of the show in front of onlookers, according to jaw-dropping footage and local reports. Now, the bear made a surprise appearance at the 50th annual Christmas parade in Gatlinburg on Friday, according to local media. Videos posted to social media captured stunned onlookers are whipping out their phone as, the bear just strolled on the street. Crowds on the roadway, which were pretty empty except for the wandering bear, were heard yelling as the creature just calmly wandered the parking lot. Waiting on a Christmas parade and a bear came out, one excited user posted. Now, not all the spectators were amused by Santa Claus the bear. Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency told local news that the bear caught on camera has possibly gotten used to human contact and might possibly need to be put down if it starts to see humans as a food source. That bear is at some point going to come in physical contact with humans and probably have to be euthanized for its actions. So help us keep bears wild and keep them alive. Hopefully we can keep enjoying seeing them around, without exhibiting any human habitation, which is what you're seeing here. Now, bears do typically flee from humans instead of, basically wandering around a bunch of them. So now the black bear was later spotted going through trash cans. Now, the city has invested in bear-proof garbage cans and dumpsters and has encouraged residents to use them properly to keep bears away from town. Gatlinburg is known as the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a vast swath of wilderness home to roughly 1,500 bears. So yes, do not feed the bears. This is not Yogi. This is not, Jellystone. Do not do it. Let's keep the wild wild. Well, not that I'm at all heartbroken by this, but apparently if you are one of the people who are looking for the giant inflatable outdoor decorations, they are in short supply this year. Again, this will never be me. If I'm going to decorate my house, I'm going to decorate it like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, or I am just putting up a giant Advent Nakatomi Tower. Let's see. Giant Santas are impossible to find. Christmas enthusiasts are losing their holiday spirit due to the lack of giant Santa decor this season. It seems as though the time to start shopping for holiday decor gets earlier every year, and as Christmas approaches, the big ticket items are not available yet, and, some people that are devoted to Christmas are starting to panic. Home Depot's holiday catalog debuted in early August. Stop the craziness. Now, they almost immediately sold out of some of the big, inflatable decorations by the next afternoon, a day later. Again, I am not that fussed. If you can't find a giant Santa, I feel bad that you can't have your Santa vision. I'm look, it's just not my jam. I'm not wasting the electricity. We have wind. I'm not dealing with it. It's too cold outside. I'm not going in the outside to inflate nothing. Call me a Grinch. Call me a humbug. I am okay with it. Call me Scrooge. I'll say, visit me with a ghost of Christmas Zima's past. Because I don't care. Well, in our final story, it looks like the original elf costume worn by Will Ferrell has sold at an English auction for over $300,000. Now, who would have thought velour would fetch that much? The famous green and yellow elf costume that was worn by Will Ferrell in the holiday film Elf has sold for over $300,000 outside of London on Friday. It did sell with a bunch of other props from hit movies. Now, Prop Store, an auction house based in Hertfordshire, England, featured the iconic Christmas suit and a bunch of John Berg's personal collection in its winter entertainment memorabilia live auction. Now, Buddy, the elf signature costume, did sell for that really great price. Along with, it looks like Dr. Evil. So that's pretty cool. Again, I'm not spending that much money unless it's Sailor Moon or Apothecary's Diary, which, I did find a couple other animes that I'm now geeking out about because that's all I need is another thing to spend money on. Don't tell Mr. Mo. Let's keep it between you and me and the interwebs. But yeah, look, if you have extra money, get you all the stuff. Now in the part where, we have a little bit of a palate cleanser, I show you the clips I've found, the clips of cringelarity to keep us going on today, because we are looking down the double barrel poo, reality of another 2 hours of the defense asking, well, are you sure that nothing was found in the bedroom? Yeah, it's almost, we are looking down the barrel of this being a thing for the rest of the day. It's just absolutely terrifying. So, another terrifying thing. Now, arts and crafts or possible cries for help, you guys decide, because, I know this is creepy, but I'm going to say that those masks are much more terrifying.
A single machine can stamp out thousands of plastic masks in a short time. And each mask will be exactly the same.
Oh my gosh, I remember these Halloween costumes. You basically get a plastic smock and then you got the mask. I wish they still had those costumes. Because, if you tore them up, they were like $5 and your mom didn't get pissed off. But then they started making more expensive costumes. And if you ruined one of those, you were in trouble. But the little plastic poncho things, those were awesome.
As all the others. To get a really unusual mask, you've got to make it yourself. It's fun to make paper bag monsters. You can make all kinds of characters. A few stitches.
What in the cursed teddy bear is that? That's like worse than... If y'all remember A Christmas Story where Ralphie has to wear the rabbit thing, that's like, this is my first pup mask. That's all I'm thinking.
You can turn an old brown sweater into a bear mask. And you can use crayon to change an old sheet and some straw into a talking scarecrow.
I was like, wait a minute, what are we using the sheet for? I was like, this is really close to the 80s. What were we using? I was like, what in the name of the hills have eyes is this? This is terrifying.
This pig mask was formed on the back of a vegetable bowl. This elephant mask was formed on a gallon jug. Its nose is a long paper tube, and its ears are...
That unintentionally looks more phallic than I think they intended it to do. Good God.
are cardboard fruit trays. Next,
What in the
glue on
name?
some cotton ball hair, or sew on some yarn sideburns. And there you have it. A clown is born. In fact,
No, a lifelong need for therapy is born. Jesus, I'm glad I had this for the trial, but this is where in the soul this terrifies me on the Bad Touch doll.
2 clowns are born.
Yeah, no. Now rent a friend. Because, you know, the internet is a weird place.
I'm Sam, and basically I'm here because I want to be your friend. What's your name?
I'm already terrified of you, Sam. I feel like we should have a conversation before this, like, why are you in my house? How did you get here? You know, I'm glad you want to be my friend, but how'd you get here? Did you chloroform the maid? Is there someone in my basement?
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about you now. Like, where are you from?
I would love to talk back to you, but you've handcuffed me and put a ball gag in.
That's a nice part of the country. Any pets? I'm a cat person myself, yeah. Tell
You
me.
don't say. What in the name of haunted velveteen rabbit is this stuffed animal?
I bet your parents. I bet they're really neat. You know, was your mother? Oh,
Did you face off them and wear their faces? Where are my parents? It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
overprotective by any chance? I don't know. Is there guilt in your family at all by any chance? I tell you, friendship is filled with surprises, and you just.
Yeah, so are those drinks filled with roofies. How didn't I see that coming? What is this? Please tell me this wasn't intentionally, like, supposed to be your imaginary best friend brought to life.
Blew me away with that one. I was infatuated with this one for like 5-6 years and never had a single date. Here's my brother. He's 10 years older than me. He used to play a game called Trees. And the thing was, he was the tree and I was the guy walking in the forest. And he fell over on me. And the object of the game was for me to get out from under the tree. Watch this.
I don't even know what to say right now. Like, I'm torn between, oh my God, who the hell filmed this? This is most hysterical, uncomfortable thing I've ever seen. Or, God, if this was made unironically, please hope someone, anyone, FBI, ATF, CBS has a, tracking device on this man.
Oh, whoa. It's like I have a rubber nose. I used to make this noise. It's a noise that means I'm very excited and very happy. And
I didn't consent to hearing anything about these noises. No. Hashtag just say no. I don't know what it is about this face that makes you think that you can tell me about your excited noise, but I am going to RSVP no to that. But let's continue, because honestly, this is better than listening to Brian Walsh's defense today. Honest to God, this might be better than the entirety of what we're going to see from the defense.
I'd like to do it for you right now. One more picture. of you and me together. What do you say?
I can't say anything through this gag. Someone call the FBI. Do you think they can catch Morse code through blinks on camera? Just asking for a friend. I'm sending this to Mr. Mo with nothing. I'm just going to send this to Mr. Mo.
Ready? Smile.
Well, I have never been more terrified in my entire life, which is why we have to work out. We have to work out and get strong because these people live among us. So we are going with Rock's winning workout without weights. Because, we don't all have dumbbells or barbells or hex lift sets. We don't all have everything. But we can all work out.
Rock's winning workout without weights, and it's a beginning exercise program, and my friend Zara is going to be the demonstrator.
How did John Denver make an exercise video? I didn't know. Also, why didn't he, name it Take Me Home, the country workout? Walking country roads. I feel like he missed a little bit of a marketing beat.
And we're going to go through this exercise routine, and you can follow along with this exercise routine.
I'm confused here. Now, far be it from me to judge fitness, but we've got John Denver and Ted Kaczynski. How does this happen? It is the Hollywood crossover we never knew we always needed. The John Denver, Ted Kaczynski show.
The beginning part of it, and then later we'll show you some exercises you won't be able to follow along with. The last exercise for the calves is called jumping up and down, and follow along with Zara. He's going to do 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have my friend...
Wait, jumping up and down you call this? I'm going to need to take some notes here. Now, so what's the first step?
Doral Silverthorne's going to talk about the relationship with fitness and the Bible.
The scripture says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." We got to be pure in our bodies. You've got to give to physical strength, and you've got to eat proper food. I wish to say that our government is a two-faced hypocrite.
The next thing we're going to...
I love Cotton Hill. God bless him and his 50 men. I love that we have just a little bit of anti-government propaganda in the middle of this Christian workout video. I agree.
We're going to have a foot race between Czar and Big Zaddy.
On your mark, get set, go!
I'd like to thank all my friends that came over to put this exercise tape together, and Joel's going to donate 20% of his profit to charity to his church.
We did our best. If we'd been prepared, we could have done better.
He's like, look, we threw this together like Ram Jam's Black Betty. There was $200 for gummies and about $5 for the camera. Well, I think we learned how to keep ourselves healthy, and it involves, not trusting the government and masks of all kinds. Well, you guys, I am going to get some shorts out and work on getting these clips into a video form for later this week. And then at 10:30, as usual, we will be getting into day 7 of the Brian Walsh trial. Now, do have extra snacks, emotional support animals with you, because we are looking down the barrel of another however many hours of the defense talking about why the state didn't test Brian's comforter for 45 minutes to about 900 years. So, have your snacks ready. You have been warned. Let's hope that in theory he will have been given some sign by, God to maybe do better today. I mean, we can always live in hope. But I do have the, bad touch doll ready so I can show where in the brain he is giving me a migraine and where in the soul I'm pretty sure he's hurting me. So, and by extension, all of us that are having to watch this. Anyhoozle, that's where I will be. I hope to see you guys there, but you are free to go anywhere in the interwebs you want. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on the mornings. Please like and subscribe, share all the clips with your friends. If they need a little bit of humor and you think they'd like my cup of humor, because I'm not everyone's cup of tea, I get it. Send them, invite them to the Church of Mo. And remember, we have, the Petty Express coming up. And I now have my Carmen Sandiego hat. So we can totally wonder where in the Carmen Sandiego this case is going. Because we're 7 days in and I've got not a clue where the defense is going. But you guys have been warned in self-defense. If any smexy time options are brought up today, I'm drinking. I am day drinking. I can't handle it. My imagination is much too sufficient and, overactive to deal with those kind of ideas and mental images. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay warm, be kind to everyone, but carry a can of bitch fire because... someone shows up in one of those masks. I mean, at that point, it's entrapment, okay? Allegedly in Minecraft. Don't take legal advice from me. Bye, you guys.